Do you think Shedeur Sanders ever starts a game for the Cleveland Browns? I don't believe he starts a game this year, obviously, barring injury, which is the conversation you and I had. And if he doesn't get an opportunity to start a game this year because of injury and show something different than he was able to show this preseason, I don't believe they view him as a franchise builder, a franchise starter.
Did Tom Brady just slip up and reveal why the Cleveland Browns really don't trust Shedeur Sanders? The way this whole saga played out, from his jaw-dropping draft slide to Brady's awkward hesitation to the Browns stacking their QB room like they were hiding something. This ain't your normal rookie story. It feels like there's a whole other layer behind the scenes. Shedeur came out of college with massive hype, his name ringing all over sports media like he was next up. But draft night turned into a nightmare. Instead of celebrating in the green room, he plummeted all the way to the 5th round. When the Browns finally grabbed him, fans thought, okay, here we go, his shot to prove the doubters wrong. Except it didn't play out that way. Not even close.
And I actually texted Shedeur because I know him very well. And I said, dude, like whatever happens, wherever you go, like that's your first day. Day 2 matters more than the draft. I was 199.
Yeah.
So who could speak on it better than me? Like what that really means.
Instead of battling for quarterback 2, Shedeur got buried at quarterback 3, sitting behind another rookie, Dillon Gabriel. That alone had people talking. But Cleveland wasn't finished. They went and signed Bailey Zappi to the practice squad, sending the clearest message possible. Shedeur wasn't even a priority. That's when the whispers started. Why did Brady freeze up when Shedeur's name came up? Why were execs already dropping Deion Sanders' name before draft night was even over? And the real question, is Shedeur's shot in the NFL actually about his own talent or about his father's influence making sure his son didn't get iced out of the league? That shadow grew heavy once camp and preseason rolled around. On paper, it was simple. Shedeur versus Gabriel, 2 rookies, 1 backup spot behind Joe Flacco. But the Browns didn't hesitate at all. Gabriel snatched QB2 without a fight, and Shedeur was stuck in the background. Huge red flag. If Cleveland really believed in the superstar potential his dad keeps selling, why crown Gabriel so fast? Then came the preseason finale, and the disrespect went public. 4th quarter, crunch time, and Coach Kevin Stefanski yanked Shedeur for Tyler Huntley to run the 2-minute drill. To the fans, it was loud and clear. Cleveland wasn't even trying to give him a real chance to shine. And if they won't trust him in a meaningless preseason game, what's gonna happen when the pressure's real?
I know where I kind of want them to go. Mm-hmm. And let's not forget Shiloh, okay? Mm-hmm. But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't.
That's why Tom Brady's comments hit way harder than people noticed. On Impulsive, when he got asked about Shedeur's shocking draft slide, Brady froze up. No quick defense. No, he's underrated praise. Just stuttering, hesitation, and the safest line possible. I wasn't part of the evaluation process. Now come on, this is Tom Brady we're talking about, not some washed-up ex-player nobody listens to. Brady's a part owner of the Raiders. He's personally close with Shedeur, and NFL GMs actually respect his word when it comes to quarterbacks. If anyone could have vouched for Shedeur, it was Brady. And the fact that he didn't, that silence was deafening. And Brady didn't just stop there, he doubled down. He hit Shedeur with that classic use it as motivation speech. You know the one. He basically said, day 2 matters more than draft day. I was picked 199, so I know how this feels. On the surface, it sounded inspiring, but in reality, it came off more like a warning. Translation, you're not special. Nothing will be handed to you. Earn it or fade out. That's a cold message coming from the GOAT. And Brady's actions already showed exactly where he stood. The vibe was clear. Be glad you even got a jersey. Now prove you belong. That's the energy the league threw at Shedeur. And the wild part? His own father might have been the reason he slid so far in the first place. That infamous Dan Patrick interview still hangs over everything like a storm cloud.
Question before I go, Tom, do you think a college kid needs a Phantom, like a Rolls Royce?
Nah, hey, no, it's not a Phantom. It's a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
I think he needs to get his ass in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible. Less time in the car and more time in the film room.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that.
And I seen you have one too, Tom. Don't think I seen.
I was just a rental. Hey, I had a few bucks in my pocket at that point. I've seen some car stores when we're together.
Deion didn't hold back. He flat out admitted he wouldn't let Shedeur play for certain teams. He even bragged about steering his son to the right destination, like he could strong-arm the NFL before Shedeur had even thrown a single pro pass. And let's be real, the league doesn't forget stunts like that. NFL execs hate being told what to do, especially by someone outside their system. When Deion went public with that talk, insiders say it flipped the whole narrative overnight. Suddenly, Shedeur wasn't just a quarterback prospect, he was baggage, a player tied to his father's politics. Even Skip Bayless pointed out that moment as the exact turning point. Teams backed away fast. So here's the million-dollar question. Why did Cleveland finally pull the trigger after passing on Shedeur 6 different times? That's where the theory gets messy. Word is, Deion had to sweeten the pot. Maybe leverage, maybe favors, maybe even backroom deals, just to make sure Shedeur didn't go undrafted. And honestly, that fits Deion's playbook perfectly.
I've been covering sports for 30 years plus. I have never seen a projected first-round pick drop like this. 5 quarterbacks, as of the time of taping this show, have been picked. There was speculation he was going to be number 1.
Right.
Now, ultimately, Cam Ward, it was always him or Cam Ward. But how the hell you go from speculating about him or Cam Ward to Jackson Dart? And clearly, it's not about talent anymore. It's about something else. And I'm going to tell you, I spent a large amount of the last 24 hours thinking about nothing more than I was thinking about collusion. Because how in the hell does 32 teams in the National Football League pass on a quarterback that was universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country entering this draft, and 32 teams passed on him? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 different times they passed on him. How the hell has that happened? 4 rounds. It doesn't happen to a quarterback. We've never seen anything like this before. We've seen guys drop because of injuries. We've seen guys drop because of off-field issues, but we've never seen a quarterback projected to be a top 20 pick, universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, projected to be a first rounder, in all likelihood a safe bet of a late first rounder, and drop literally to the 5th round. We haven't seen anything like that. And when you're talking about the owners, I'm gonna keep in mind, and I tweeted about this, seems very Kaepernick-like, as in Colin Kaepernick.
Look back at Colorado. Everything revolved around Shedeur. He had the spotlight locked down, from transfers to NIL deals, even the media circus. His kids were always center stage, no matter what strings Deion had to pull to make it happen. So is it really far-fetched to think he tried pulling the same stunt with the NFL? The problem is, the league ain't college ball. NFL execs might let you slide a favor here or there, but at the end of the day, they get the last laugh. And the timing couldn't have been worse, because while Shedeur was barely hanging on to a roster spot, Deion was already busy putting out another fire with his other son. Shiloh Sanders just blew his NFL shot in Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers cut him after he got ejected for punching another player in the final preseason game. One reckless move, and his career chance vanished overnight. Deion tried to keep cool in a Colorado presser, saying he was praying Shiloh would get another opportunity somewhere else. But let's be real. The optics were terrible. One son wrapped up in draft night drama, the other self-destructing on the field. Suddenly, Deion didn't look like a mastermind anymore. He looked like a dad scrambling to keep his boys alive in the league at any cost. That's when the pressure really turned up. One son possibly out of the league for good, the other sliding down draft boards like a rock. It was a full-blown crisis for a man who built his whole brand on being flashy, in control, untouchable. Watching both sons stumble at once cut deep into that image. And it's not just coaches or execs doubting Shedeur. Fans are ruthless. This isn't the usual Cleveland didn't give him a fair shot debate. A lot of people are saying flat out, he never earned the shot in the first place. One fan didn't hold back. The problem is, if you actually watch the Colorado game, he's got a sack issue. He holds the ball too long trying to be a hero instead of making the smart play, and that knock has followed him for years. Instead of making the safe throw, Shedeur waits for the big highlight. And in college you might get away with that, but in the NFL? That's not exciting. That's reckless. Another fan pulled receipts and said straight up, "I've been calling this since before the draft slide." He went 13-12 at Colorado. Even with Travis Hunter, bro was never an early round pick. And honestly, that one hurts, Because if you can't dominate with one of the most electric two-way players in the nation on your team, why would NFL franchises gamble a top pick on you? Some fans didn't even bother with stats. They went straight for the jugular. One said, Shedeur should quit football immediately and start a career in politics. Basically saying his hype machine and popularity are louder than his actual game. But the comment that cut the deepest, if his name wasn't Sanders, he would have been cut already. That one hit like a dagger because it ties directly back to the whole bribe theory. Fans see it too. They don't think Shedeur is here off raw skill. They think he's only sticking around because Deion forced the league's hand to keep his son on a roster. That puts the NFL in a nasty spot. Now it's bigger than Shedeur just struggling. It's Deion's entire image on the line. Execs never wanted to reward him for trying to game the system, and they're not about to hand out special treatment just because of a last name. And here's the part people keep sleeping on. Tom Brady knew it too. That's why his use it as motivation line hits so different. It wasn't encouragement. It was a warning. He wasn't lifting Shedeur up. He was spelling it out clear as day. This league doesn't play favorites. If you don't perform, you disappear. Simple as that. So what do you think? Is Shedeur being judged too harshly, or is the criticism fair? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more wild stories just like this.